5 possible changes that might be happening to spouse benefits and pretty much everybody else. So I'm going to go through the entire list. This is also a live Q&A. So if you have any questions about all things Social Security, retirement, spouse benefits, survivor benefits, disability, Medicare, Medicaid, any of that, make sure you type it into chat. If you're new to my channel, my name is Ed Weir. I ran the third busiest Social Security office in the country. And in my semi-retirement, my new mission in life is to make sure y'all are getting everything you're entitled to. So this is definitely alive, and let's go ahead and jump into it. So basically what we have here is this was started. I talked about this a few months ago when it first came out. This is the Republican Study Committee, and they came up with their proposals for 2025. And I talked about it a little bit when it first came out, but I didn't spend a lot of time because, the election, they weren't in power. It looks as though the House of Representatives just might turn Republican. That's definitely the way it's leaning as of right now. And then we have a majority Senate, and then obviously we have President Trump coming in. So these proposals are even closer to being realized. So I figured I'd jump in here and let you all know what we're looking at. So again, this is the Republican Study Committee, and it represents 80% of House Republicans and 100% of House Republican leadership. So this is not something, when these bills or, one or two politicians, say we're going to do this, that, the other just to get votes. This is a vast majority of Republican leadership and the rank and file Republicans. So number one, I'm just going to go down the list. So this is a multiple page, and they talk about all kinds of different things of their plan in the future. But I focus on Social Security because that's my background, and then Medicare. And so we're just going to go down the list for the top 5 things that we see here. So after several pages of talking about what needs to be done with Social Security and why it needs to be done and the solvency and all the rest of it, these are the rather brief outlines of their proposals. All right. So for instance, the RSC, the Republican Study Committee, would make modest changes to the primary insurance amount benefit formula for individuals who are not near retirement and earn more than the wealthiest PIA benefit factor. Okay, so everybody's eyes probably glazed over there. Let me translate this into English. Your PIA is your primary insurance amount. That is the amount your Social Security benefits, yours, disability, your survivor, spouse benefits. That's the benefit amount that determines how much you're going to get. Basically it's your full retirement age. Your PIA is your benefit at your full retirement age, your primary insurance amount. How do they come up with that? They do it through your AMI, the averaged index monthly earnings. So they basically take your earnings over the high 35 years of work, and then they average it based on essentially today's dollars. And then they put out this formula. And this formula, I put it down in the bottom. This is for 2024. So basically, they take 3 chunks of money that you paid into it. Say your average income monthly earnings is $5,000. So they take the first 1,174, multiplied by 90%, and you get that amount. And then 32% for the next bucket of money, and then 15% for the next bucket of money. So that's how everybody's benefit amount is calculated. And I want to take this moment to reiterate, I've done over 800 videos, and I think almost every video I always tell people this: please, please, please go into your Social Security account, set up a My Social Security account there, and check your earnings record. So again, your benefit amount is based on your earnings record. If your earnings record is incorrect, you're going to receive the wrong benefit amount for the rest of your life. And those that visit my channel regularly and they watch my live Q&A, they know that there's so many people not getting the correct benefit amount because they didn't check their earnings record. So particularly tell young people in your life about this, because if you catch it when you're young, then it's easier to fix. Because basically you file your taxes, it goes to your buddies at the IRS. Okay, not your buddies. And then the IRS notifies Social Security, and that's how they determine your Social Security benefit amount. If it's wrong, then it's wrong. So, and it's difficult to fix 10 years, 20 years, 30 years later. So it's important that you fix it as soon as possible. Okay, let's get back to the regular program here. All right, so they're going to change that primary insurance amount. It looks like they're going to for the not near retirement. So anytime politicians always do this. They did this back in the Greenspan Commission under Reagan in the early 1980s. Any type of changes they do, they don't do it to current retirees or people that are near retirement because they know that's political suicide. They always requests us to kind of sell out our children. So it's not going to affect us. It'll affect our children, and who cares? Social Security is not going to be there in the future. That's kind of that's what they want us to believe, and it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy that is the fact. So yeah, politicians always tell us to sell out our children, and hopefully we don't. All right, so but if you agree with this, then I guess that's then you support it. If you don't, then don't support it. I'm going to try to stay neutral. I'm just going to provide all the information and try to make sure y'all get all the benefits you're entitled to. All right, so not near retirement, and so the higher PIA. This is very, very kind of not very clear. It's very, very vague. So it looks as though they might be adding another bend point, which is the one I just popped up there. You get the 90%, 32%, 15%. So they might add another bend point for the wealthiest, so they get less benefits, maybe a 5% bend point or 2% bend point or whatever the case may be. So that's a so wealthier people would receive less Social Security. So, okay. All right. So that's one proposal. And it would also make modest adjustments to the retirement age for future retirees to account for increases in life expectancy. So, yeah, this is raising the retirement age. Modest adjustments. Potato, modest for you. Raising the retirement age. I personally, my opinion, I don't think it should be raised. 67 I think, is where it kind of should be. But as we used to say in the Marine Corps, if I wanted your opinion, I'd beat it out of you or I'd give it to you, right? So you don't care what my opinion is, but if you agree with raising the retirement age, then you support this. If not, then you don't. So and also raising the retirement age. It was done again in the 1980s. It was raised from 65 to 67. What a lot of people don't realize is that every year you raise the retirement age, that's a 6.5% cut in benefits. Because if you file early at 62, you're filing a year earlier than someone at 65. If your full retirement age is 67, if your full retirement age is 67 and you retire at 62, then your benefits are cut by 13%. So next year, 67, the full retirement age takes place. People born in 1960 are they're going to be full 67 as their retirement age. So that's essentially they're getting a 13% cut. And who did that? Well, our parents or uncles and aunts and all the rest of it. So raising the retirement age, modest. So yeah, modest for who? The reason I'm against this is, the politicians, raising the retirement age is no big deal if you're working in an office. My father was a long distance truck driver. My mother worked at a, breakfast diner. They can't work till 68, 69 years old. Yeah. So that's just not possible. So, all right, next. Finally, for these individuals, it would limit and phase out auxiliary benefits for high income earners. Auxiliary benefits, spouse benefits, children benefits. Those are AUXes. So anytime you go into Social Security Administration, you take a retirement claim or disability claim. They ask you if you've got any children, if you have any spouses that you're married to. And those are what's called Social Security aux childhood care, aux spouse, auxiliary. So they, kind of throw it in there with auxiliary. They don't specifically point it out. So spouse benefits, again, if you're a high wage, could get less. And I want to, I skipped over probably number 2 here. One of the most important things happening right now is the fact that these, we don't have to wait for cuts to happen. They're already happening, unfortunately. I do this live Q&A pretty much every day recently, and we find money for people every single day. because people are not getting the benefits they're entitled to. Customer service at Social Security has been cut. They're at like a 50-year low in terms of staffing. It's going to get worse. You called up the phone and they don't pick up. You get wrong answers. Social media is definitely not helping. They're giving out wrong information, incomplete information. They don't know really Social Security. They, take a couple of days of Social Security class online and they think they're experts on Social Security and they're giving out wrong information. So that's why I'm doing this live Q&A, to make sure y'all get correct information. And another thing, this is the Medicare season up until December 7th, and there's close to 2 million Medicare plans that have been canceled. A bunch of legislative passes, the Inflation Reduction Act, a lot of things have been passed. So close to 2 million Medicare plans, we're talking Medicare Advantage and Part D plans, have been canceled. And there's a lot of people that are going to be very, very surprised. So you have to make sure, check to see if your plan is canceled, check to see if it's been downgraded. Sometimes these companies, rather than just canceling you outright, they just go ahead and downgrade you to such an extent, and then you get surprised next year. So make sure you check your plan, review your plan, contact your insurance broker agent, and they can help you out. Or if you need help, I partnered with Chapter Medicare, and they can help you out and make sure you're getting everything you're entitled to next year. All right. And so the spouse survivor child benefit cuts. So again, modest adjustments. It sounds as though there's going to be a means tested system for spouse benefits, that if you're receiving X amount of money, not sure, they're not very clear on this, but some people are not going to get spouse benefits, surviving spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, independently entitled divorce spouse benefits. If you don't know what that is, you definitely need to watch my live Q&A. Everybody always asks about that. And if you're making, if you have a certain amount of money in the bank, or if you have a certain amount of income or other income or something, they just might say, no more spouse benefits for you. They're not very clear on any of that, are they? So let's see what else here. And then we have number 5. Additionally, so not again, the RSC budget does not cut or delay retirement benefits for any senior in or near retirement. They made sure to underline that because, again, they want the current votes. So they want to make sure that they win the next election. And then it would. So how are they going to pay for all this? And because one of the big things, well, these are kind of revenue neutral. But Social Security solvency, we're looking at about 2034, 2035 for the trust fund running out. And then we're looking at about probably a 17 to 20% cut in benefits starting 2034, 2035. If they stop giving out those spouse benefits, that might help it a little bit. It depends on what type of means testing they are looking at. And their solution to kind of address the long-term issues of Social Security is pro-growth tax form, making the economy so strong that it raises all the ships. But y'all don't want to hear my opinion, but usually it just goes to the top. So, but that's one of the problems with the solvency over the last several decades, is that less people pay, less money goes into FICA because that money is outside of FICA subject. It's not subject to FICA because once you earn $168,600, you no longer pay Social Security FICA. You pay Medicare, but us people, we pay FICA, Social Security FICA on every penny we make. If you make over $168,600 this year, you don't pay FICA on that. And that's one of the reasons why the Social Security Trust Fund and everything is in such a shambles, that and demographics and all the rest of it. So, and we're also looking at SSI and SSDI changes. There's been other places where they mention means testing. SSI is a means tested system. That's supplemental security income. SSDI, on the previous Trump administration, there was attempts to kind of welfare to work and everything, and they talk about it in the Republican Study Committee as well. Maybe trying to bring people that are SSI, put them back to work, and I'm not sure how that procedure is going to happen. There's already a ticket to work. There's already policies of Social Security that if you're not disabled, you are able to work. So not sure how they were going to expand that. It's all pretty vague, but that's what I'm going to do in my semi-retirement is keep an eye on all this and let you know of any changes. And that way you can take action if necessary. And if not, then hopefully everything is good with you and your family. All right, let's see here. I was wondering how long it takes before they make a decision on the Medicare Advantage plans. I signed up with the chapter last night. Oh, okay. Yeah, if you're Imaginator, if on Medicare Advantage plans, um, there is no decision really on Medicare Advantage plans. There is no pre-existing conditions, issues with that. Medicare supplements, then if you sign up for Medicare supplement and you have health underwriting, then yeah, the company has to make a decision whether they want to accept you, whether you have any health issues. But Medicare Advantage plans, yeah, if you enroll with it and that's it. So yeah, make sure you reach out to the person to help you out in chapter, and they'll make sure they are working on the weekends pretty much every day. So will payments change in the new administration? We Nobody has a clue, but I am going to be here. That's my commitment to y'all, to be here and keep you abreast of all the information, and using all my decades of experience in the bureaucratic beast, helping y'all make sure you're getting all your benefits you're entitled to. Barbara, happy to catch a live. I'm 64, turning 65 in August. When do I start to apply for Medicare? I'm also getting divorced after 25 years of marriage. Wow. All right. So for signing up for Medicare, so we're talking about next year. If you are currently receiving Social Security benefits, whether it's retirement benefits, spouse benefits, survivor benefits, doesn't matter, you will be automatically signed up for Medicare about 100 days before you turn 65. Medicare will send you your packet automatically in the mail, which includes your Medicare card, the Part A and Part B. If you have health insurance from work, current work, yours or your spouse's, your employer has 20 or more employees, then you don't have to sign up for Part B. You can just return the card. But if you're not receiving benefits from Social Security, then you manually have to sign up for Medicare. So about 2 or 3 months before you turn 65, you can go online. The application online is pretty easy. You go online and sign up for Medicare Part A, Part B, and you can restrict your application. So you can sign up for Part A only. You can sign up for Part A and B only. You can sign up for Part A and Part B only. So yeah, you can, you can sign up for your money and just Part A and Part B, or just your money and not Medicare, or whatever the case may be. You have to sign up for Medicare Part A, but so there's different ways you can play it depending on your particular situation. Story, if you answer my question and talk. Okay, let's see here. If I decide to work while collecting Social Security and stay within the monthly amount guidelines, will this increase the Social Security amount I receive? Possibly. It really depends on your high 35 years of earnings. So how this happens is, if you work, even while you're after you start receiving Social Security, people always say, "Hey, I started collecting Social Security. Why do I have to still pay FICA?" Well, death and taxes. So you will always pay FICA unless you're really rich, and you don't have to pay it after 168,000. But if it's one of your high 35 years, then yeah, it will increase your benefit amount. So basically what happens is you file your taxes, send it to the IRS. The IRS sends it to Social Security, and Social Security looks at it and says, "Hey, pleasure mix, is this one of his or her high 35 years of earnings?" And if it's one of the high 35 years of earnings, they kick out the low one, stick in the new one, recalculate, and you get a increase in your benefit. That is 100% automatic. You don't have to do anything except for talk to your friends at the IRS. Okay, a little tongue in cheek there. I am 59 and collecting SSDI. When I turn 67, will it be okay not to collect my pension, instead collect survivor's pension? You can. All right, a lot of things happening there. Okay, so you're 59, so you can collect your survivor's pension at 60 years old. Survivor's benefits you can collect at 60. And a lot of people get this wrong. There's another place a lot of people are losing money. They're getting disability, and because they're getting disability, they're getting Medicare. So you're 59, you're getting Medicare and disability. And people think, well, if I get survivor benefits or spouse benefits or divorce spouse benefits, that's going to stop my disability, and therefore it's going to stop my Medicare, and I'll have no health insurance until I'm 65. No, that's 100% incorrect. You can continue to get your disability, continue to get your Medicare, and add survivor benefits, spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits on top of that. One offsets the other in terms of the amount. Um, but you can have all three of those at the same time. But in your particular case, if you want to wait till your full retirement age so you receive the full survivor benefits, yep, no problem whatsoever. Yep, no problem. But um, survivor benefits kind of a weird calculation. Sometimes it depends on your deceased spouse. If your deceased spouse started receiving their benefits very, very early, then your benefits won't increase after about 62 and a half years old. Once you reach 62 and a half, they won't increase anymore. But if your deceased spouse, waited till they're basically their full retirement age or after their full retirement age or never received benefits or had disability, then that doesn't apply to you. Daniel, hello. My wife is retirement begins February 2025. This is her full benefits age based on birthday. Are there ways to optimize her benefits or file online? Yeah, you can file online. That's easy. So yeah, it sounds like that's her full retirement age, February 2025. To optimize, check your earnings record. And if there's any mistakes there, make sure you get those mistakes corrected because that'll affect her benefit for the rest of her life. If she's already receiving Medicare Part A and Part B, then they'll start taking the Part B premium out of her check once she starts those benefits, so she doesn't have to pay the bill every 3 months. Are you filing for benefits? If you're waiting, it's called a split strategy where the higher wage earner, let's say you're the higher wage earner, you wait till later, then she goes ahead and collects her benefits. And if your benefit amount is twice her benefit amount, then she can collect benefits on your record. So yeah, sounds like y'all are doing everything right. I think the age of being eligible for Medicare should be lowered to 62 to mesh with the early retirement. I agree. Yeah, I agree. I think particularly people on disability, if you're 55 years old and you're approved for disability, everybody has to wait 24 months to get their Medicare started. I think if you're approved for disability, your Medicare should start immediately. And I also agree, anytime you start your benefits, if you're 60 and survivors, you should get your Medicare, but that's definitely not going to happen now. So let's see. If a person worked and paid into the system for 40 to 50 years, should be able to retire at 65. That's enough. Yeah, that's the way it was for many, 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 many years. It was based on when Social Security first started back in 1935, they modeled a lot of it on the German system, and at that particular time it was 65, and that's how they came up with the year 65. So I don't really have a big issue with it switching to 67 because of longevity and stuff, but I think 67 I think that's a sweet spot, but others don't agree. I just applied for Social Security disability, but I did not apply for state disability. Workers' comp past the allowed months to apply, but I found out that I do have long-term disability. How does this works? So if you have long-term disability from a workplace or something, a private plan, it does not affect your Social Security disability. If it's from a workers' comp or a public disability benefit, then it will affect your Social Security disability benefits. So when you applied, hopefully you told them, they should have asked you, are you receiving any workers' comp or any public disability benefit or anything like that? Because if you do, then that will offset. And if you don't tell them, the computer systems, because the public disability workers' comp are state computer systems, and they talk to Social Security. And if you don't tell them, eventually those two computer systems will talk, and it might take a year or 2 years or 3 years. And then they'll send you a nice little letter that says, hey, you owe us, $75,000. Write a check right now. That's pretty much how the letters say it. Yeah, it's crazy. Nobody ever writes a check for that. Yeah. So would it be wise to wait a bit before I call your Medicare helpline? I will do before 12/7. My current supplement is WellCare, but they changed PPO to simple and I'm confused. No, you can call them up right now. I definitely would not wait. Please, if you're going to reach out to chapter there, Yeah, they help everybody in the entire country. They look at all the plans. It's 100% free plan review. They've got excellent customer service after the fact. If you need to help, find doctors, or you need to appeal a decision or find a prescription or something like that, they help with all that. I just had the lead from their member success team on a few days ago, and she's awesome. But with Thanksgiving coming up, and then I call Valentine's Day the annual meeting of the Procrastinators Club, where all us guys meet at the grocery store or the Walgreens or whatever to buy chocolates on on Valentine's Day. But this is the second annual meeting of the Procrastinators Club, and after Thanksgiving, it's going to be crazy. There's going to be so many people. So yeah, it's good to go ahead and call now, and that way you can make a well-informed decision. Thank you, Dr. Ear, for helping me with divorce, spouse, child, and care benefits at 62. You're welcome. Let's see. I'm 61 now and want to retire early at 62. What month should I apply? I'll be 62 in February. So you have to be 62 the entire month. So if you were born on the second, then your Social Security considers you to obtain your age the day before. So, yeah, if you're 62, you have to be 62 the entire month. So if not, then you have to wait for the following month, and then you won't get your benefit until the following month because Social Security always pays a month in arrears. So February check comes in March, March check comes in April. Let's see. I'm on spousal survivor benefits. Will they cut my benefits? OMG, it's my only income. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. So we definitely need to participatory democracy. I'm a widow. Are you saying my husband's SSI that I receive will be stopped? We don't know. Let's make sure that doesn't happen. I'm just kind of bringing you all the information. And so we need to get, informed, and that way we can watch out. So right now, this is, remember the old Schoolhouse Rock in the 1970s where, the bill is still a bill. This isn't even a bill yet, but this is, when somebody writes up a playbook, maybe you should listen. So this is the playbook, and now it looks like that particular party is going to take control of the House, and the House has the purse strings, and they've got a sympathetic Senate and a sympathetic president and a sympathetic Supreme Court. So stuff could happen overnight. So that's why kind of a tad bit preemptive. I try not to do clickbait on this channel, but sometimes you got to be a little provocative to get through all the cat videos. So I apologize for a tad bit clickbaitish, but yeah, we really need to be aware of this because a lot of times this stuff happens in back room, smoke filled, mahogany, by a bunch of rich old white guys that look like me, I guess. But yeah, we want to make sure that doesn't happen. Trump said, "Ask not what you can do for your country, not what benefits you can get for it." That's actually was actually Kennedy that kind of said that. 68, receiving Social Security. Can I apply for disability? No. Disability stops. Nobody in the country is receiving disability after their full retirement age. People say, "Yes, I've been receiving disability since for the last 10 years, and I'm 70 years old." No, you haven't. For Social Security disability, when you received Social Security disability, once you hit your full retirement age, 65, 66 and 6 months, 67, or whatever the case may be, your disability benefits are automatically switched to just regular retirement benefits. People don't even notice the change because you get the same benefit amount, the same payday and everything. And, it just basically, it's a bureaucratic thing where they stop taking the money out of the disability trust fund and they start taking out of the retirement trust fund. But what a lot of people are missing, please subscribe, like, and share and all that kind of good stuff, because more people need to get this information. A lot of people out there are struggling. So you've got people that are like, 70 years old and they think they're on disability. And they're like, "Oh, a friend of mine said I can go down and, work at his, bait shop and, sell worms or something like that. And I'd really like to do it, but if I do it, they're going to stop my disability." No, you're not on disability. You're on regular retirement. There's no more limitations. You can go out there and make $1 billion, sell $1 billion of the worms, And it doesn't matter. You no longer have continuing disability reviews. You no longer have work restrictions. You can go out there and do whatever you want. So yeah, there's a lot of people out there that are struggling and they don't know that they're free now. um, you should let me moderate. Let's see here. If you are on disability and 65 is 2 years away, so SSDI switch to SSI. Yeah, so SSI, no, SSI is the welfare-based benefit. A lot of people mess up when they ask questions. Oh, I get SSI. The welfare benefit, are you talking about? They think SSI means Social Security income, but SSI is supplemental security income. I know it's a welfare-based program the Social Security Administration took over 50 years ago, 1974. Yes, 50 years ago. Time flies. Yeah, that was 50 years ago. Wow. Um, in the documentary Logan's Run, there are no old people. Documentary. Was it Farrah Fawcett, right? I actually saw her in the Keys. Yes, when she was married to Majors. Yeah, the $6 Million Man. Oh, those are good shows. Let's see here. I just dated myself, didn't I? My husband passed 10 years. Yes, and I did have the poster. Thank you very much for asking. My husband passed 10 years ago at 59. I was 58. I'm still drawing survivor's benefits. Should I change? Um, okay. So no. Well, possibly if you're receiving survivor benefits, that is one thing you can switch. So what this is called a WIB rib, and every office in the country, the office I ran, we had someone that would run this report, and it's basically say, hey, you've got a bunch of people in your district that are receiving survivor benefits, widow benefits, widowers benefits, the same thing. They're receiving these benefits, but the benefits on their own record, their own work record is more. Reach out to them, send them a letter or something and say, hey, you're receiving, 1,500 from, your deceased spouse, but did you know your benefits have increased since that time to, 2,000? So come on in and file. Not sure why it's not automatic, but it's not. You actually have to go in there and start those benefits. So let's see here. Just wondered where you are getting your means testing for spouse benefits info. Yeah, the Republican Study Committee, the one I just popped up there. All right, let's see. My 65th birthday is coming up in April. Is it going to make any difference if I start drawing now as opposed to waiting until I'm 65? Every month you take benefits early. A lot of people think, oh, you have to wait for your birthday to file, or you only get increase at your birthday or the full 12 months or so. No, that's incorrect. Every month you start your benefits early, it's reduced all the way down to 62 years old. So is it going to make a difference? Yeah. If you file now and it's 12 months from your birthday or 5 months for your birthday, it's going to be reduced a little bit. But you just do the calculations. You say, okay, if I start my benefits next May, it'll be $40 more a month. But if I start my benefits now, sure, it's going to be $40 less, but I'm going to get 7 months worth of checks, and I can do a lot with 10, 12, $13,000. So, and then you just take that $10,000 divided by 40 and see how long it takes you to make up the difference. And I've done that a million times, and it's usually about 14 years. So. I'd rather see what the new administration is going to do than watch 4 more years of what the criminal enterprise. Okay, all right. Well, we'll see, and I will be here letting you all know what's going on. I turned 60 in July and didn't know I could draw survivor benefits. So would I get any back time pay from when I turned 60? Protective filing is what that's called. So if you filed for benefits previously, or you called and Social Security didn't do the right thing, or whatever the case may be, you can always ask for back pay. So if I am already receiving my survivor benefits, already at full retirement age, will they cut that benefit, or would it be the newest and richer folks thing? We don't know. Those are proposals. That's the game plan. So we will see what's going to happen, and I will keep you up to date. I became disabled at the age of 49. My husband at 53. I receive 834 and my husband gets 2,100. My question is, should I be receiving 50% of his benefits? Um, it depends on when you filed for those spouse benefits. If you waited till you're full retirement age, then you'll get 50, you would have gotten 50%. So if you filed early, depends on when he filed, then that determines what your benefit would be. I'm back finally. My election volunteer is done. How's it run? Hey, all right. Volunteered to get in the election. Awesome. Well, I lose my spouse benefits as soon as we don't know. Yep, we shall see. I hope that doesn't happen. Your thoughts on Project 2025 proposed firing of career government employees for loyalists. Do you foresee this would affect government social workers? Yeah, that would be, I think that would be devastating. Can they cut benefits without Congress oversight, like children under 26, like Reagan did in 1984, college help? Yeah, good point. Charlton, they right now, if you have a child under the age of 18 and you start receiving retirement benefits or disability benefits, then your child can receive benefits until they hit the age of 18 or until they graduate high school or basically 19 in a couple of months. Um, but yes, many moons ago, it was the children can get benefits up until 26 to kind of help to pay for college and stuff like that. But they cut that, and now it basically stops, when you graduate high school. So there was one proposal to bring that back, but that's not going to happen now. So, yeah, I mean, it could be anything. Yes, right now, if you're receiving spouse benefits, you can jump around. If you were married 3 times, married, divorce, married, divorce, married, divorce. When you go in to file for benefits, Social Security, that's their job. I've done this hundreds of thousands of times. We ask when I worked at Social Security, and everybody now, they say, have you been married? Any marriages last 10 years or longer? Any marriages end in death? And then if you said you were married, 3 times, at least 10 years, each one of those, then the Social Security employee will say, okay, let's go down the list. First one, what's that person's name? Let's see how much that person's benefit amount. Second one, how much that person's benefit amount. Third person's how much that person's benefit amount. And there has been talk about there that says, oh, no, you can't go back to your first one or second one where the higher benefit amount is. You have to stay with the last one. And I've seen that around there. So that is another possible change. Again, we don't know what's going to happen. Don't have a clue. I wish I had a crystal ball, but we're just going to have to play it day by day. What kind of changes are they going to do with people on disability? Well, the last time the Trump administration, that was one of their big targets was SSI, Medicaid, and SSDI. So, but wasn't able to do it. Probably a lot more chance this time around. So, how are you going to work if I am 67 receiving SSI? SSI, the welfare-based program. So there's very limited when you receive welfare. I did a video on that. So if you're receiving SSI, make sure you watch that video so you don't get in trouble there. Our disabled friends are worried that they are going to lose their SSDI because of the new administration. Yeah, that was, again, the president's budget last time around was definitely SSI, SSDI, Medicaid related. I just had my first phone appointment for spouse benefits, and I am getting more after I get certified copies. Since that's in progress, will that be cut now? No, again, nothing. Everything is business as usual until it's no longer business as usual. So, yeah, when you file for benefits, as Star Baby Online says, yeah, when you file for those spouse benefits or surviving spouse benefits or independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, you have to prove that you were married to that person for at least 10 years. So you get your marriage certificate, divorce decree, and it has to be the original documents from that issuing agency. But please, another thing people mess up in is they say, yeah, I want to go ahead and file for benefits, but I don't have my documents. So once I get my documents, I'll call Social Security. You could lose a month or 2 months or 3 months. Call Social Security first, set the appointment, and that protects you. That means you can start your benefits that month if you're eligible, and then get your documents later. So don't worry about your documents. And if your day of your appointment comes, again, Social Security is backed up big time. I think that's a technical term, big time. That you probably won't get your appointment for like a month. So, but even if you at once your appointment day comes, if you still don't have your documentation, still keep the appointment. Still call them up and just say, "Hey, yeah, I'm still waiting on my divorce decree," and they'll say, "Oh, okay." Because sometimes you don't even need it if your ex has already filed or something and they provided it or something. So sometimes you don't even need it. So, if I'm 64 and disabled, then I'm going to be okay. Yeah, again, you get Social Security from what you pay into it. Correct. It's your Social Security benefit is based on your earnings record. That's why it's super super important to make sure your earnings record is correct. All right, let's see here. I am retiring in March. I will be 64. My wife, 16, collecting Social Security and is on my insurance and not paying Part B. Does she have to sign up for Part B now during the open enrollment, or can she wait till to quit work? Yeah, open enrollment is not about Part B. The annual enrollment period right now, that's about the Medicare Advantage plans and the prescription drug plans, and switching back to a original Medicare and a Medicare supplement plan. Again, call those guys there, my partners at Chapter, and they can help you out with all that. But okay, so you're going to be retiring in March, and she is on your insurance. So y'all did the right thing. You declined Part B because I pay for your insurance and Part B, and it's a waste of money. So you did the right thing there. Um, but yes, because you're going to be retiring in March, then you want to go ahead and probably you and her, it sounds like, want to make sure she already has Part A because she's already collecting benefits, but she wants to go ahead and sign up for Part B, and you want to sign up for Part A and Part B, um, because she'll be penalized if she doesn't prove that she had health insurance from work. Easy, easy, easy. It's a couple of forms you'll need is the 40B and the 564. You can just download them off the internet, or you go to your HR and you say, "Hey, we need to sign up for Part B," and they'll probably pull out the forms and start filling them out for you. And it's basically proof that she and you, if you're after 65, that you actually had health insurance from work to avoid the penalty. So a lot of people, y'all did the right thing, David. Awesome. There's a lot of people out there that are doing the wrong thing. They hear the whole thing about, when you turn 65, it's mandatory that you sign up for, Medicare. Yes, it is if you don't have health insurance from work. If you have health insurance from current work, yours or your spouse's, your employer has 20 or more employees, sometimes your work insurance says you have to sign up for Part B because we want to move cost over the federal government and stuff like that. And you're happy with that health insurance, then you do not have to sign up. Too many people, it's like, I was told I had to. Well, in your case, you don't because of, so y'all did the right thing. And then now you also need to start figuring out how you're going to cover all the gaps of Part B, because original Medicare Part A, Part B are great. Part A covers the hospitals at zero premium. Part B covers the doctors. It looks like next year it's $185. They finally came out with that. Went up about $10. But there's tons of gaps. The biggest one is Part B. There's a 20% co-insurance. So if you go to the doctor and get a $100,000 Band-Aid, then you have to pay $20,000 of that, 20% co-insurance. So that's why people get either a Medicare supplement plan or a Medicare Advantage plan. If I had my way, I would have everybody get a Medicare supplement, a Plan G or a Plan N. But unfortunately, a lot of people, 40+% of people, they go with Medicare Advantage, usually because they can't afford a Medicare supplement plan. It's just not in their budget. So with the difference, Medicare supplement, you don't have prior authorizations, you don't have networks, but there is a monthly premium. Medicare Advantage, most of those plans are zero premium, but there's networks and pay-as-you-go type system. So, and it looks as though under one proposal out there that I think has a very good chance of passing is that, but I don't know, but I think it's a lot better chance of passing now than it was a week ago, that the default will be to sign everybody up for a Medicare Advantage plan because the health insurance companies make so much more money with Medicare Advantage plans. And brokers, to be honest, insurance brokers and agents, everybody makes more money with the zero premium Medicare Advantage plans. Yeah, it's completely counterintuitive. But if you watch any of my videos, you always see because I'm cheap, I like the Medicare supplement plan N first, plan G super, 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 super close behind, and then Medicare Advantage. But a lot of people get the Medicare Advantage because they just can't afford the monthly premium. And it's fine. You just a little bit more work. Once a year, need to review your plan to make sure you're in the best plan and reach out to Chapter and they help you 100% free. They don't charge anything to help you navigate the bureaucracy in the system. What are they planning to do with disabled people in SSDI? Don't know. If I have a court order for back alimony, will I still be able to receive it? Yeah, that's, I was talking about this yesterday, that if you have a court order for garnishment of someone that owes alimony or child support or something like that, sometimes a lot of people have that, but they're not getting any money because that person is working under the table or, whatever the case may be, their ex, the father, mother, whatever. But once they start receiving Social Security, it's a lot easier to garnish that. And so you just have to have the court send that garnishment directly to the Social Security office. If you have that in your hands, that doesn't help, because we used to receive, in my office, we used to receive court orders directly from people, and we're like, I think we just got this from the courts, and here, let me go back and see our copy. And it's like, you added the people. There are some people that changed the numbers. Instead of getting $396, now they're getting $1,396, and it's like, hey, this looks like you added this one here. So that's why Social Security has to get it directly from the court. So let's see here. Yeah, I tried, as people said, I voted for this person or whatever. In my capacity here, my job, my mission, my old Marine Corps sergeant, so I always have to have a mission in life. My mission in life is to help y'all get everything you're entitled to, and to make sure you continue to get everything you're entitled to, what you paid into Social Security, and make sure it's there for your children and grandchildren. And the policy I like the best was to smash the cap, to have everybody, even millionaires, go. So if you're a millionaire, you pay less than 2%, or less than a percent in FICA taxes. The rest of us schmoes, we pay 7%, 14% once you take into, 12.4% for the other part is Medicare. So, but to increase, to make everybody pay the same percentage of FICA, that's not going to happen anymore. So yeah, that's the policy proposal I supported, but that's not going to happen. So we need to think of something else. My husband passed this year. We were married 41 years. He was only 62. So will my spouse benefits be cut? So he was only 62. So it doesn't sound like he filed for benefits. Did he file for benefits already? If he already filed for benefits, possibly it'll be reduced. It's called the rib limb, widow's limb. So I would definitely check. And but if you wait until your full retirement age, then your benefits will be 100% of what his benefits, if he didn't start his benefits. So, but in terms of future policies being changed, again, we don't know. We paid into OPERS. I have zero Social Security for Medicare, and now Obamacare tax credits. Now they want Obamacare to go from 250 to 957. Yeah, so let's see. I have been receiving spousal support benefits for 2.5 years. I'm 64. My benefits are 2/3 of my income. I am in the middle of applying for a mortgage loan and need that income to pay my mortgage. Yeah, again, we don't. Hey, CC Ryder, I think I've seen you before here, so welcome back. We don't know what's going to happen. My husband's 3 years younger, and I'm 67. We're separated after 35 years. He doesn't want me to get any of his Social Security money and won't file till he has 2. How long do I have to wait? Okay, Thunder Money. We've got some Thunder and Lighting. We've got some good information for you. All my regulars are like, oh, all right, here's some money. It's called Independently Entitled Divorce Spouse Benefits. Within the next 3 minutes, jump on the phone, call the 800 number, and schedule an appointment and get yourself some money. Okay, here's the deal. A lot of people missing money. If you are at least 62 years old, you go ahead and file for your benefits on your own record. And if you're now single and you are married to someone and that person is at least 62 years old and you've been divorced from that person for at least 2 years, you can file for benefits on that person's record. You do not have to, wait for them to file. It's called independently entitled divorced spouse benefits. There's, oh my gosh, there's just so many people out there missing that money. So please like, subscribe, share with everybody. This is a community effort to get people the benefits they're entitled to. Number one is people don't know about it. Number two, unfortunately, there's so many Social Security employees, particularly the Social Security employees at the front windows. They're called CSRs, customer service representatives, and they're just kind of generalists. They're not experts in retirement or disability or SSI. So unfortunately, a lot of people have been going into the Social Security office and saying, "Hey, I heard about, Dr. Ed was talking about his independently entitled divorce spouse benefits." And the person says, "No, your ex has to file for benefits first," and which is 100% incorrect. So if someone tells you that, say, "No, that's not correct." But their benefits, your spouse's benefit still has to be twice your benefit amount. So over twice your benefit amount for you to collect benefits. So thunder and lightning, call the 800 number, call 800-772-1213. And it sounds like you're already receiving retirement benefits on your own. If your spouse's benefits are twice yours, twice your full benefit amount, then you're entitled to benefits on that person's record. If you were married at least 10 years, which you were 35. Yeah, so get those benefits immediately, if not sooner. So, all right, we found some money for someone there today. Good deal. Um, Currently receiving. Okay, I got a bunch of new people here. Let's see if I can find. Um, Where's number three? Over 63 point. Yeah. So yeah, that's number three is a part of the Republican Study Committee to raise the retirement age. And anytime you raise the retirement age by 1 year, that's also includes a cut for people, 6.5% cut. Yeah. So let's see. Have maybe 1 year left for Obamacare, then no more. Yes, on Obamacare, some people is like, oh, I want to stay on Obamacare, the Affordable Care Act, Marketplace, whatever the case may be. That one, that was attempt. It was only John McCain that gave the thumbs down. The reason that's continuing, yeah, Obamacare, yeah, we don't know. It might be gone, but that doesn't count as credible coverage. So some people say, I don't want to sign up for Medicare because I have, Obamacare now and it's zero premium and everything. And if I sign up for Medicare, that's $185 next year. If you don't sign up for Medicare when you're on Obamacare, you lose the premium tax credits, the advanced premium tax credits, and the cost sharing that Obamacare. So you pretty much just have to sign up for Medicare at 65. All right. Somebody tried to buy me a beer there. I appreciate it. One beer weir. I get SSDI. How badly is SSDI? Again, yeah, I'm going to keep y'all abreast of all that. All right. Yes, please hit the like button. My roommate gets SSI due to disability. Will they be affected? Again, we don't know. But yeah, Leslie, number one, thank you for thinking about your roommate there. Yeah, we need yeah. Quite a bit more of that. So please. So SSI, so that's SSI, supplemental security income. So if that person is receiving SSI, I did a video that said, let me show a picture of it there. How to live on Social Security alone. I did a 4-part series, and the first part, the introduction was like terribly long. I'm terrible at YouTube. What are we going to do? I'm getting a little bit better, but this is a shortened version of that, how to live on Social Security alone. So close to 50 different programs that will help people that are struggling, maybe make their life a little bit easier. So check out that video there. And since it's pretty close to Veterans Day, and I guess more importantly, I wouldn't say more importantly, but just as important, it's close to the Marine Corps birthday. Hoorah. There's one on there. It's called vettix.org, vettix.org. And if you know a veteran, have them sign up for that. They have to give their DD-214 and everything, and then go see all kinds of different concerts and sporting events and stuff for free. I saw Tony Bennett and Jewel and Billie Eilish. Yeah, go figure, me and seeing. Yeah, my daughter was very happy. But anyway, let's see. Janelle, I am receiving disability along with my husband, who also passed away, his survivor benefits. Am I going to lose them? Again, we don't know. But Janelle, thank you for chiming in there. She is living proof that she is receiving disability and survivor benefits at the same time. There's so many people out there, again, that receive disability and don't file for survivor benefits or spouse benefits or independently entitled divorce spouse benefits because they'll think it's going to stop their disability. No, you can have both of them. And a lot of people miss the pieces of the puzzle. You can have Social Security disability insurance and Medicare, Social Security disability insurance, Medicare, and SSI. And then if you get SSI, you can possibly get Medicaid from the state. And if you get Medicaid from the state, you can also get from Social Security the extra help with the prescription drugs. And if you get that, the Medicaid from the state Medicare savings program can pay for your Part B premium, the $185. And if you have Medicare and Medicaid, the higher levels of Medicaid on the state, you can also get what's called a Medicare Advantage dual eligible plan. Those are the ones you see kind of scammy advertising about free ice cream and unicorns and $10,000 a month for groceries. Exaggeration there, but they do exist. Those cards do exist, but the way they're advertised is I don't like at all. The companies and the people that are making those Facebook ads and stuff, they take the best card in the country and then they advertise it to the entire country, which they are not supposed to do starting October 1st. But they still do it, and people fall for it and they call and say, hey, I want free ice cream and unicorns. And it's like, oh, do you live in Tampa, Florida? No. Well, do you have Medicaid? No. Okay, well, you don't get it. But then they do the hard sell and try to sell you something out. What's that called? Bait and switch, right? No one is cutting anything in Social Security. Fear mongering is BS. Yeah, wow, I hope you're right. But I would argue because of the lack of customer service, people are getting their benefits cut every day. And Medicare plans, close to 2 million Medicare plans have been cut for 2025. So not sure how that is not cutting. Let's see here. Got a lot of political type stuff, what I'm going to try to avoid. This is the largest group of people we've ever seen watching. Yes. Yeah, it's yeah. Anyway. Both of my husband and I retired. He passed at 48 OPERS. I am on disability with OPERS, but have okay. I think I already answered that one there. See if there's any. Trying to get out of the politicals type stuff and actual questions to see if I can help y'all get the benefit. Okay, here's an actual Social Security Medicare question. Both retiring at 62. Should my wife get her Social Security separately? Hers is low. If she takes my half, do I lose my half? No, you don't lose your half. So you're both starting at 62. Okay. So basically what happens is you schedule the appointment and you're going to be possibly taking 3 different claims. So it sounds like you're the high wage earner. So you'll file for benefits on your record, and then you hand the phone to your wife and she files for benefits on her record. And if her benefits are less than half of yours, then she files a spouse claim for benefits on your record up to 50%. Well, up to 50%, it's going to be reduced because you're doing it 62. So it'll be 3 claims. Doesn't take very long. I've done hundreds of thousands of those. Should be done in an hour or so. Might need your marriage certificate. Probably not. They can, kind of say, are you married to her? Yeah. So might need your birth certificate, but usually not if you were born in the United States and everything is correct on your, Social Security card in terms of your name and date of birth and everything. Yes, your date of birth is not on there, but internally it is part of your Social Security record. But whatever she gets from yours, that doesn't affect your benefits at all. No. Let's see. Confused about retirement. Would I be able to collect my spouse's retirement early? He passed away 3 years ago. Early, you can collect survivor benefits as early as 60 years old. Actually, earlier, if we're talking about if you're disabled, it's called DWIB, Disabled Widows Benefits. So you can collect disability benefits from a deceased worker's record from the age 50 to 59. But if you're not disabled, the earliest you can collect is 60 years old. And a lot of people miss that. And they said, they contact me and they come in here and they say, yeah, I'm applying for survivor benefits at 62. And I'm like, why didn't you do it at 60? I thought it was 62. No, survivor benefits, you can start at 60. I'm like, oh my gosh, I lost 2 years of benefits. So I will be receiving $20,000 from my mother's will, and I am 66 years old. Will that affect my SSDI? Well, now it's my SSI. It will not affect SSDI. But if, okay, I think you probably made the mistake everybody does. Now it's SSI. SSI is the welfare-based benefit. If you got $20,000 in your SSI, yes, 100% your SSI will stop. But you're not talking about SSI. SSI is supplemental security income welfare. You're talking about regular Social Security. Yeah. So your benefits switch from disability benefits to regular retirement benefits, but it doesn't matter. That $20,000 doesn't affect your disability or your retirement benefits at all because it is just, just other money. It's not based on work or anything. So nope, no issue whatsoever. So let's see. I called Social Security at 60. They said I made too much. Is that a true statement? Um, well, it's unless you're Elon Musk, and it's never too much, right? But in terms of what they're talking about is there's an annual earnings limit, and if you make over that annual earnings limit, $1 for every $2 you go over, then all those benefits will be withheld. So if you make $50,000 more, then they're going to hold back $25,000 worth of benefits. And if your benefits are $2,000 a month, then that basically means you're going to get all your benefits withheld. So that sounds about right, but it really depends on how much you're making. So, and remember, so this is the difference between a lot of people miss this. Let me get into this one. Since there's so many people watching, please share, like, subscribe, all that kind of good stuff. Go out into your community and, people that are struggling, disability, the aged, elderly, and, let's help these people. Here's what we see. People are saying, okay, I don't want to file for early retirement because I made too much this year. No relevance. If you made $1 billion up until, let's say it's November, you made $1 billion up until October. But this month, November, you stopped working. You're not making $1 billion anymore. You can actually start your monthly benefit. You can start your Social Security benefits because they switched to a monthly test. Sure, you've gone over the annual limit of $22,000, $23,000, but it has no relevance whatsoever because you stopped working. So you stopped working November, or you reduced your earnings to under $1,860, and you're going to be under $1,860 in November or December, so you can collect your checks for November, December. And then next year, you can't do the monthly again. You can only do it one time. So next year, you have to stay under the annual earnings limit. So a lot of people say, oh, I can't start my benefits till next year, until January, because I made too much this year. No, please get those people, obviously, once you start receiving benefits early, it's reduced a little bit, but maybe, those people need that money. So let's see here. Other type of actual questions. If you married and divorced 3 times, you need a new hobby. That way it's too expensive. I like it. I've taken, and I should have added this on here. A lot of people say, well, I want to see if I am entitled to benefits from an ex-spouse or the first, second, whatever, but I don't have their Social Security number. No problem whatsoever. You don't need it. I've done this a million times. All you need is when you call Social Security to see if you're entitled to more benefits, see if you're entitled to, if your ex is twice as much your benefit amount, so you can see if you're entitled to any benefits. You just give them the person's name, their date of birth as well as you know it, and their city and state where they were born as well as you know it. I've found, John Smith, sometime in the mid 60s, somewhere in North Texas, I've found Social Security numbers for those people when I worked at Social Security Administration. So even the very limited amount of information. And let me add one more thing, that again, in order to get spouse benefits, divorce spouse benefits, and independently entitled divorce spouse benefits, your benefit amount has to be less than half of your spouse. But a lot of people make the mistake is that they're still married, and Jane turns to Bob and says, hey Bob, how much is your check? Oh, my check is this much. And Jane said, well, my check is this month. And well, that's not less than half, so I guess I can't get any money. No. It's not based on what Social Security calls the MBA. It's based on the PIA. The MBA is the monthly benefit amount. That's what your check is, after you take your early retirement reduction or for Medicare or Part D or whatever the case may be. Social Security doesn't care about that, the MBA. They care about the PIA, the primary insurance amount, your benefit at your full retirement age. And you say, well, I don't know that. And Bob doesn't know that. Then call Social Security and say, hey, is there any money? Can I get any money from Bob? And they'll look at your PIA and his PIA. And if there's more money there, then they'll sign you up. And if not, you kick Bob out of the house, I guess. Been divorced, but married for 10 years. He is still alive. Can I get any spouse benefits? Yeah. If you were married for 10 years, then just as I just said, yep. See if there's any more money, but you have to file for benefits on your own record first. So. So I'm receiving from the railroad board, the RRB, the railroad board from First X because Second hasn't been filing his taxes and self-employment taxes. But when he files his income, will he be higher? And I'm wondering if I can switch to his at the point. Yeah, you can switch to a higher benefit amount. So the railroad board, it's kind of interesting. The railroad board has their own retirement system, and there's kind of a jurisdictional issue. Anybody that comes in that worked for the railroad, the Social Security employees has to call the railroad board and say, hey, do y'all have jurisdiction or we have jurisdiction? And if they say, oh, it's our jurisdiction, then we said, tell the person to call the railroad board. So it's kind of a weird historical system. But yeah, if you're entitled to more benefits someplace else, then absolutely jump on it. I'm back. ID, independently entitled divorced spouse. I called a random Social Security office and gave me another number to Social Security office. They couldn't tell me nothing. I applied September 18th and stayed on hold all day. I'm lost for what to do. So they should have scheduled an appointment. Again, they will check your record, your PIA, and then they will check the PIA of that person's. And if that person's benefit amount of the PIA is twice yours, then they should have scheduled an appointment. If they didn't, then I would call the 800 number and tell them, independently entitled divorced spouse, I want to file a claim. Or again, Social Security has so many new employees that they, unfortunately don't train down into the details. So, just tell them you want to file for a spouse claim or something like that. But then again, they will look at that record to see if that person filed. And if the person doesn't know what they're talking about, then they're going to give you a little bit of runaround. So what you need to do is you need to talk to a Title II claim specialist, a Title II of the Social Security Act, a claim specialist, and they're the experts should be in retirement, and they'll know what independently entitled divorced spouse benefits are. I've done way too many of them. So. Let's see here. Don't let old grandpa fool you. Me? He receives Social Security benefits like everyone else over 65. I'm not even 65 yet. Due to his extreme greed, he won't do anything that would reduce Social Security benefits. Oh, I'm not old grandpa, am I? Okay. Will we lose all the funds where we've already contributed, not retired yet? Let's make sure it doesn't happen. Let's see. Okay, here we go. Here's a question. Raphael. Oh, I'm over the hour. I'm way over the hour. Okay, let's make this the last question. I apologize if you had actual Social Security, Medicare, Medicaid, retirement, survivor benefits, spouse benefit questions. I will do another live Q&A tomorrow. So please cut and paste your question and then join me first thing tomorrow. Put it up first thing, and I will get to it. Since there's so many people tomorrow, I won't have a topic of the day. Usually I have a topic of the day. I talk about that for 5, 10, 15, 20 minutes, and then I answer questions. So tomorrow I'll just do straight questions since it seems to be a lot of people with questions. So prefer not political, just actual questions. I want to make sure y'all are getting what you're entitled to. All right. I just got married abroad. My wife has no plan to live in the United States. In the event of my death, will she be entitled to survivor benefits, though she has no Social Security number? It really depends on it's called a totalization agreement between Social Security. You can go into the Social Security website and type in the words payments abroad screening tool, and it'll tell you what the totalization agreement between the United States and that particular country is, and it'll tell you whether you're able to get those benefits. All right, that'll be it for today. I apologize. A lot of questions, and I'm not just able to get to it, but I'll keep doing a live every single day until we